uh, Miss Felicia Simon. How are you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Good morning. How you
Turn
doing?
it up a little bit. Turn me up.
All
Turn me
right.
up.
She gonna tell me what to do on my show. But anyway, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you this morning?
And I would also like to welcome Miss Sherry Smith. Sherry, how are you?
I'm great. Good morning, everybody.
Had a little technical mishap there, but Felicia always giving me a hard time. Nonetheless, man, welcome to Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Conversations with Ryan Richardson is going on live right now. And Felicia, how you doing? How are you?
I'm doing well this morning. How
All
are
right.
you?
So why don't you give my listening audience a brief introduction on who you are and inform them what we're talking about today.
So, my name is Felicia Simon. I am the owner of Divine Moments Massage Wellness. Um, and I am also an instructor and program chair at Blue Cliff College. And
Hmm.
this morning, we're going to be talking about the benefits of massage therapy.
All right. So tell us how you got started in massage therapy. What was your impetus to get started and why?
So, massage therapy is something that I considered for a long time.
Hmm.
Um, I would visit it and pull away from it, say, "Oh, I want to do it."
Right.
Nah, might not want to do it. I don't know if I want to be touching everybody,
Right.
that kind of thing. Um, Finally, things kind of aligned themselves. My children were a little older. They didn't necessarily need me around all the time.
Hmm.
Um, at the time, the I felt like I needed another skill outside of office work. I've done administrative work for years, nonprofit, hospitality, legal, and I felt like I needed a skill, something that I can do. So now everything has aligned. I was supposed to start at Delgado, and things kind of fell through with that, and I ended up at Blue Cliff. So this is 2011. So I started school, did the 15-month program at night. Um, Loved it from the very beginning. Didn't know how well I was going to do because there's a lot of anatomy. A lot of people think that doing massage is mainly just rubbing on
I
individuals,
would imagine so. Yeah.
and it's so much more than that. There's a lot of medicinal things behind doing massage.
Hmm.
So I do kind of regret getting into it as late as I did. I wish I would have did it sooner. However, I also feel like I may not have been mature enough for the business
Hmm.
had I gotten into it sooner.
Earlier, right?
Yes.
Right.
Mm.
So I'm gonna kick it over to Sherry because she's co-hosting with me today. So Sherry, I know you had some questions for Miss Simon.
I
So
did because most times when people think about going to get a massage, they're thinking about, oh, I'm going to get relaxed and all of that stuff. But as you mentioned, anatomy is very important about that, and the medicinal benefits of that. Can you explain a little bit to some people, besides of the fact that yes, we it feels good? What are some of the benefits it's doing to their body? I'm sure it's cleansing out toxins and other things. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's definitely milking the toxins out of our body. It helps with circulation. It helps with mobility and flexibility. It helps with pain management. And a lot of times, a lot of people are stressed
of
for a
course.
lot of different reasons and a lot of different factors. And that stress is stored in our bodies. So, like, just helping to relieve that stress and reduce that stress and creating a healing environment or a environment where our bodies can do what it's naturally supposed to do, and that's heal itself.
Hmm. Now,
Mm.
this is not a topic that's talked about, a lot,
It's
massage
not.
therapy. So, what are some of the historic factors behind massage that you found out when you first started studying?
Well, one, it's how people perceive massage.
Hmm.
In some cases, individuals look at it as just a luxury.
Hmm.
You go to maybe a Ritz Carlton or a Woodhouse, and, or we put on a robe and they give us wine and, this kind of thing. So they look at it
Right.
as a luxury experience.
Right.
You have another group of individuals who Historically, massage have been linked to various sexual um, things.
Mm-hmm.
So even
Mhm.
now, sometimes you see individuals on TikTok or Instagram, and they doing these very sensual massages.
Right.
So people are looking at it from that aspect and don't realize how beneficial it is for the body. In the medical field, sometimes it's kind of twofold because you have some individuals that don't believe in it. And then you have another group of individuals who understand how beneficial it is. And oh,
Mm-hmm. Well, the main reason why I brought you here to conversations with Ryan Richardson is because I myself, as you know, am disabled, and I wanted to also talk about the link between disabilities and the benefits of massage. Uh, as you know, you guys been listening to me for the past few weeks. I was born with cerebral palsy, spastic diplegia, so I have a lot of tight muscle issues and different things like that. And I wanted you to touch on how massage helped or helps with different disabilities from your standpoint.
we help reduce the spasticity or the rigidness of the muscle, help keeping those muscles movable and flexible,
Mm-hmm.
um, help overall well-being,
Mm-hmm.
hope help with decreasing depression. Like some people that are disabled,
Right.
because they are disabled, they get a little depressed because they feel like they can't do everything that other individuals are able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that kind of sparks depression. So helping to decrease that. And sometimes we can't help with the actual ailment itself or the disease itself, but we can help kind of manage those side effects with the pain management, etc.
So, how often would you suggest that a person who is differently able, such as myself, get a massage?
So it depends on what the actual goal is, because they can do it once a week, twice a week, or they can do it possibly once a month just for maintenance. Because the same thing like with our cars. Um there's some things we have to maintain regularly and some things we can go a few months without actually doing. So our
Mm.
bodies operate the same way. So if you're only doing it when you see me, then the chances are, the chances are less that we're going to be able to help, because again, it didn't take you an hour. Most massage sessions are an hour, hour and a half. It didn't take you an hour and hour and a half to get in this predicament. However, if you're assisting or helping with you playing an active role
Mm-hmm.
in your recovery, your healing, your process, then we're working together as a team to help get you where you need to be.
Right. One of the things that we talked about, you know, off the air was just the emotional aspect of getting a massage, or participating in that type of therapy, because I know there's also an emotional aspect of it too. You told me in many conversations that
I
people
lost you.
people are on the table
Hmm.
and they break down crying. Like, have you ever seen that?
Absolutely.
Really? So what was that experience like?
um, it's one that we're prepared for, because
Okay.
it's something that we do discuss while you're in school, because um like we're massage therapists. So
So
some
it's a psychological aspect also, right?
it is. It
Okay.
definitely is. We do like we said, the issues in the tissues. So a lot of that trauma and stress is stored in our bodies and in our muscles. So when we release those different chemicals in the body that helps reduce that, um, then again, people begin to it brings them to a happy place, a safe place,
Mm-hmm.
where they really have to trust us. They let us into our space, into their space, into their energy. So when they relax, it's like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have this experience. Kind of similar to, there was an individual I gave a massage to after a loved one had passed. And after the
Mhm.
massage, it was like, oh my God, like I felt like I just got over a illness or a sickness. Like they kind of felt all of that stuff just leave their body.
Right. And
Mm.
like I said, the main
So when
reason
we
why
talk
I'm bringing this in is because a lot of people in our community don't know about
Hmm.
it, and they don't realize the emotional aspect. I talked about mental health a lot on my show, and they don't realize the mental aspect that massage has to it. Because the first time I received the massage, after it was over, I felt like everything had just been lifted off of me, and that is an amazing feeling. So, Sherry, I'm gonna kick it over to you.
No, I was just going to say, massage therapy is a whole body uh, experiment, a whole body therapy. But I think most times when people think about massage, they think about a regular massage or deep tissue massage. But can you expound a little bit more on the different types of massage, considering it is whole body?
So we can be here for the entire hour talking about
A
the
few of them,
different
not all of them.
modalities.
Right.
Just some of the more popular, common ones.
Like again, most people are familiar with deep tissue,
Right.
and a lot of times when they come in for a massage, you have to ask. Like they was like, oh yeah, I want deep tissue, and it was like because I have a lot of tension and I want it to hurt. So
Right.
the misconception is deep tissue has to hurt, and it does not
Right.
have to hurt. It may hurt afterwards again because we have muscles that have not been touched or kind of stuck together, and we manipulating that soft tissue. However, it may hurt afterwards, but if you're tensing up on the table, then that's unhealthy because now the therapist is working against the muscle and what the muscle is actually doing.
Right. So
So
then
So
how's
here's
how
pieces like
how
Reiki and all of that stuff. Can you expound on some of those
wait, I'm sorry,
therapies?
can you repeat that?
Is it like you have your regular massages, but you also hear us about stuff like Reiki and the hot stone massages, and
Yes.
what are the benefits of those?
So Reiki is a really non-invasive that's energy work. So we're not manipulating any soft tissue with Reiki. Is using your body's natural energy to help heal itself. So even if the therapist may not touch you, or if they do, it's a very light touch. And some
Mhm.
people get that confused because they just hear it's relaxing, so they're thinking they're getting an actual massage, but there is no muscle manipulation. You can actually keep your clothes on to do a Reiki session. As far as like hot stone, again, it's one of those things where people look at it as a luxury, but it also helps warm up the muscle so that the therapist can get into those deeper layers of the muscles, like doing the deep tissue. All of this can be in conjunction with something else. They have something called ashiatsu, whereas
Yes.
the therapist is doing the entire massage with their feet. And it's one of the most amazing things. Like you have bamboo massages, you have a lot of people hear about lymphatic drainage
Yes.
massages because we have so
Yes.
many people doing the 360 lipo
of
in
course.
the butt lifts, etc. So those help drain the lymph tissue, and kind of sculpt them. So I mean, we have a gambit. We have prenatal massages. So pregnant women can get massages. We have oncology massages for those that are dealing with cancer. So I mean, we have like reflexology. A lot of people see those, on Canal
Yes.
Street. That's mainly dealing with the feet because the feet and the hands. There's an area on your feet and hands that correlate with every other part of the body. So individuals that may not be able to get a full body massage, they can still, get some
Reap the
relaxation
benefits of it.
with the reflexology, doing it on the hands and the feet. You can do a chair
Are
massage. A lot of some people, we in a society where it's steady moving, so I don't have time. I don't have time. You might not have time for an hour, but you can do a quick appetizer and
yes.
do a, quick 10, 15-minute massage and help rejuvenate you.
Right. So,
Are there
what are some things that you, as a massage therapist, uh, have picked up from other people? Because you and I talk a lot in private, and you told me that massage therapists have a tendency to take on the stress that another person may feel. So why don't you expound on that a little bit?
So it's one of those things where we help alleviate that, but the therapist has to make sure they're in a position where they're centered and grounded. So when they are working on these individuals, they don't pick it up and they hold on to it. So they have to use themselves kind of like a rod. Um, so we again, I pull it off you, but I don't hold it onto me. And sometimes you can do it intentionally or um or consciously or unconsciously, because I've had it happen to me. Both instances is the first time I was still in school. Um a lady came in having an anxiety attack, and the minute I put my hands on her, like I felt like that energy jump on to me. So
Mm.
afterwards, she felt amazing, but I was drained. So it was like, like, yeah, I felt like I was like, wow, this was like the longest hour I have ever done.
Right.
But yeah, just being careful. So we definitely have to be mindful and careful about what's coming into our area, into our space, into our energy. And then there was a situation where I did it intentionally. I had an oncology patient that I was working on who was dealing with something with her stomach. So I literally emptied my energy into her. And
Mm.
again, that time I knew what I was doing. It was still draining, but I knew what I was doing
Because you
at
knew it
that
would
time.
benefit her, correct?
Yes, because I was in a position where it was the intent. So a lot of it is your intention and your intuition.
Really. You never think about energy transferring. It's something that you never think about, but it does happen. And the research that I did when I knew that you were coming in, it's amazing how we as humans can absorb energy from another person. You don't think about that, you know, as something that happens in life, but it really does.
It happens all the time.
Hmm.
Sometimes people feel like, oh, energy, I don't believe in it, or they look at it as a negative thing because they don't understand it. However, energy is something that we all deal with on a daily basis. You walk in a room and it's like, oh, I feel the tension in the room, or like
Yes.
what's going on in here, or when things are going on around you is like something don't feel right. So we all do it. It's just a matter of how are we tapped into it. We get energy not off of just individuals, but our environment, things that we watching off TV. I realize that there are certain TV shows that I watch. I feel a little more anxious or angry when I watch those certain shows. Even certain music that we listen to
Hmm.
feed
Yes.
into our energy or our spirit. Now it just depends on what because again, you have a lot of individuals who are Christians, and I am a Christian, believe in God. That's it. However, when I'm doing this type of work, the concept is the same, the verbiage is different. So you hear people say, I'm pulling from the universe, or, energy work, whereas in church, it's the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And you recognize, like, once I started doing the work, I saw how those two lines cross. When you're in church and people tell you, okay, stretch out your hand towards the altar, we all doing energy work.
Yes. Yes.
That's exactly what that is. We are sending healing powers and energy towards that individual.
Hmm. Sherry?
Well, I was just going to say, while it's really wonderful to be able to go somewhere and actually get a massage, sometimes people's schedules are tight, sometimes people's budgets are tight. What are some techniques that people can do on themselves at home to relieve some of the tension or stress or muscle aches they may be experiencing?
They could take a hot shower. Something as simple as soaking in a hot tub. You can get a little handheld massager. Like I said, if you're somewhere, you can do a quick chair massage. Um, just like there's a lot of different self care um things that you can do. Something as simple as journaling can be a form of
Mhm.
self care. Just getting like those thoughts out of your head, especially if you don't have an outlet where you can talk to somebody. You can
Okay.
journal. Um, like I said, just listening to something positive. So there are a lot of different things that we can do ourselves.
All right, y'all.
Hmm.
Y'all hear the music, so we got to go to our first break. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM. WBOK1230.com, streaming worldwide, also on YouTube. I appreciate everybody checking in with me this morning. And we'll be right back after this with Miss Felicia Simon of Blue Cliff College. See you soon.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 AM and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to
All day long.
Hey family, Ron Richardson here, host of Conversations with Ron Richardson. If you're looking for quality catering and barbecue, you need to contact my friends at Kuzan's Catering and Barbecue Team. Mr. Eddie Bunch and Kuzan's have been serving the West Bank since 2013 with their quality selection of barbecue and seafood. If you're looking for quality catering, be sure to contact Kuzan's Catering, located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero, or you can go to kuzansonline.com for more information for all the services that they offer, or call 504-233-4227. Catering done the right way just for you. That's Kuzan's, baby.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.
It's the place where we can be open and honest about real life issues. You're listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK and online at WBOK1230.com.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, WBOK1230.com, streaming worldwide. Hit us up, guys. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. You can also find me on social networking. Just search for the Ron Rich or Ronald Richardson Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. And I have Miss Felicia Simon and my co-host who's been hanging with me for the past 2 weeks, Miss Sherry Smith. How are you ladies doing?
Doing
We're
good.
doing great. Having a great conversation.
All right. So before we went to break, we were talking about energy work and how massage and energy work go hand in hand. So I want you to expound on that a little bit more.
So believe it or not, massage therapists are a little more intimate with their clients, like more than the actual doctor is.
Of course.
You know, the doctor, they go in, they see you, they ask you a couple questions, they check off, give you a prescription, and send you on your way.
Right.
We really have to connect with our clients. One, because we have to build a trust with our clients. One, they're vulnerable. They're letting us into their space. Some of them are whether completely disrobed or, halfway disrobed. So they're in a very vulnerable position. Right. Again, we getting into their emotional space. So them just allowing us the opportunity to come in and us creating a environment for them to let us in. And we're not forcing our way on anybody. We're not forcing anything, whether it's with their energy or their muscles. We allow the muscles in them to dictate to us what we do or how we respond. So again, because of that very intimate relationship, ourselves as therapists, that energy work is very important. Again, for us to keep ourselves in a healthy space, we are considered healers. Even though we don't technically heal, we just create a healing environment.
As I've experienced massage therapy, I have very, very tight spastic muscles when it comes to dealing with my cerebral palsy. And I've been working with you for some time now. We met back in, I think, 2021 or 2022, like that, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I can honestly tell you, uh, the benefits from massage therapy have helped me a ton because I'm not as spastic, I'm not as tight, I walk better, and I never thought that massage therapy would be that beneficial to myself as a disabled person, but it has. So I would recommend anyone who is out there listening to this show, if you have a physical condition that limits you from, you know, doing your normal everyday activity, look into getting a massage and just try to get the help that you need when it comes to dealing with your physical limitation and different things like that. Which brings me to another topic. Uh, a lot of people can't afford massages, or as you said earlier in the segment, it's a luxury. So, what would you suggest as somebody who is also an instructor to those who are trying to look into massage therapy but don't have the funds?
Have the funds to actually get a massage or a
Yes.
school. So in regards
And
to
we'll touch on school in a minute, but go ahead.
um in regards to getting a massage, all massage options does not have to be expensive. Um but also it's one of those things we spend money on any and everything else that we want or that we feel like we need. So it's like what's the priority for you? Um we can, even if we only do it like, and again, depending on what it is, because in some cases, if you do have certain diseases and ailments, your doctor can prescribe massage and your insurance will pay for it
Really?
if it's needed or necessary. In some cases, um they will definitely, your insurance will cover it.
So you have to be you. Let me see if I can get this right. You have to be referred to by a doctor in order for the insurance to cover
Yes.
the treatment.
Yes. So your doctor can very well prescribe it, or I want to say, in some cases, individuals that have flexible spending accounts or health spending accounts,
Hmm.
I believe massage is covered under your health or flex spending account, or it may be. I recall hearing somebody mention it, that they can do it, or maybe they were inquiring about it, but you may be able to use that as an option. Again, put your, just like we save for a rainy day, we save for a vacation, save to get you a massage.
Right.
True.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears here, and I want you to talk about the process because you've seen all sides of it. So I want you to touch on, for those who are possibly looking to get a career started in massage, how does one go about doing that, and what are some of the steps that an aspiring massage therapist would have to go through?
One, they have to have a passion for it. And you just having, or somebody telling you you got good hands, that's not a passion for it.
Right, right.
That just means you have good hands, and that's
Good
all.
hands.
Yeah,
Right.
but you definitely have to have a passion in your heart for it, and you cannot be driven by the money aspect of it. Is definitely a rewarding profession, a rewarding field, but it's something you definitely have to have the zeal for helping. And just the, when I'm working on somebody and I see them take that exhale, and it's like just knowing like they let that go, everything that was on their shoulders is like, oh my God, like just to see like that type of reaction
That's
is
your
rewarding.
That's your fulfillment. Yeah.
Yes, that's rewarding for me. Like, oh, I had one lady, it was so funny because she got off the table, and I'm getting off topic, I'm coming back. Uh,
Right.
but
Okay.
she got off the table and she kind of had this little unsure look like, okay, that was nice. All right. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you for coming to see me. And she finished getting herself together and I walked off. Well, she saw me coming up the hallway and it was like, oh my God. And she gave me this hug and it was like, I haven't been able to move this arm and I can't.
Oh,
So
that's
you
the
get
great
you get
reward of it.
you get the fulfillment of seeing other people benefit off of the energy that you passed on to them.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
So in order to like for an individual that's serious about getting into massage, again, it's not just a matter of rubbing on people. You have to take anatomy classes. You have to know the muscles. You have to know the inside of the body, the outside of the body. What we call contraindications. So what can you do, what you cannot do on individuals with certain ailments. If you one of those individuals who you can only follow step by step and you cannot deviate from that, you have no critical thinking skills, you have no room for flexibility, like you're going to struggle in this business because every client is different. There's no one size fit all. Everything is customized and tailored to the specific individual and body that's on your table. And yeah, I can have a routine in my head. However, I might not be able to do this same routine on you, so
Because everybody's different.
because everybody's different. So we have to have, like I tell my students a lot of times, massage goes way beyond your fingertips. So it's like, how do you interact with people? If you have a horrible disposition or attitude, like again, how do you want people to open up and trust you to let them in your space? Let them let you into their space to work on them. It's like, nah. I had one lady was like, "Can you just?" We were doing chair massages, and she said, "Can I just get in a chair and feel your energy, and then I can determine how many minutes I want?" It was like, okay.
So why people actually ask you that?
Yeah, I mean, and
Wow.
again, I'm not upset or offended. I'm like, okay, no problem. And she was like, oh yeah, give me 20 minutes, like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we do in school. So after like their first 3 months, they actually start working on the public. So they can come in. It's $30 to come to the school, get a massage, depending on like what's available on the calendar. So they offer Swedish, deep tissue, and NMT, neuromuscular therapy. They all 1 hour massages. So the students have the opportunity to learn and then practice those skills. Now there are some things like prenatal. It's something that they learn in school. It's not something that they practice on the outside public. So there are some things like we just provide them the foundation, like they learn marketing, therapeutic communications, medical terminology, all that other stuff outside of the Louisiana laws, outside of just putting your hands on somebody. They learn sports massages. So even if somebody can't get a full massage, sometimes just simple stretching can help alleviate those pains and help with circulation and flexibility, etc.
So this is actually a career that really has transferable skills because, like we said, most times people think about massage and you put it in the arena of spas and that kind of thing. But with these skills, you can transfer into the medical field. You probably could transfer into the sports area, all of these things, because everybody needs some kind of manipulation. And so it's just not like in a spa. You can use these skills in a variety of places, correct?
Correct. We have I have a student who his mentor, he travels and go do athletes. He brought him on. He actually go out there. I think he go to North Carolina once a week because he
Really?
have an athlete out there that he works on.
That needs
You know, so we have, I mean, we can see athletes, we even in the medical field, we can help with the rehab process. We can be part of a medical team, whereas the person may be seeing a chiropractor or a physical therapist, occupational therapist, and also seeing a massage therapist, where we're all working
Hmm.
together for a common goal to help this individual reach whatever their goal is.
So it's one big team.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. So let's say, okay, do you guys select certain students? Like, let's say, for instance, a student that may be more advanced than another student. Do you guys select certain students for, certain types of work, body work?
Um, well, when you say certain types of
Certain
work,
types of, let's say, one student may be more advanced than another student. Will that student get selected over another student because
Or
they're more advanced?
in the career field,
Yeah.
or not? Well, again, because we have so many different avenues that the student can go down. Um, the more advanced student, again, they may be more, athlete might be more willing to let them work on them than just an ordinary individual. So, but it also, like, I have one student, like, nothing excited her until she got the chair, because that's what she liked. So it depends on the individual and how far they want to go. Now, every year as a massage therapist, we are responsible for getting at least 12 continuing education hours a year to keep your license up. So you're always learning, always learning a new skill, always adding something to your toolbox. So it never stops. It's just a matter of,
It's a continuous field of learning.
it's a continuous thing.
Yeah.
It's a
and
matter
it
of
gives you
what
the
you want.
opportunity to specialize in a particular type if that's what you prefer versus overall. So
Yes.
again, the more flexibility as well.
Yes.
So what does a person such as yourself who has been in massage for how many years now?
12.
All right. So you've been in for 12 years. What are what is the average price of a person who practices massage therapy, for those that may not know?
The average price of a massage?
Just if you wanted a, like somebody to come to your house and just, work you for like 60 minutes, an hour, whatever.
Work, yeah.
Work on your body.
Oh my goodness.
So that can range anywhere from like 80 to possibly 150. So normally a therapist is going to build based on their skill level and what they're offering. So in some cases, when you go to some establishments, you may be paying for the thrills and frills, because you got a robe, you got slippers, you got wine, you got cucumber sandwiches,
You're paying for the ambient. You're paying for the ambient.
Yeah,
Right.
you pay for all this other stuff as opposed to like your actual massage. So you, like I say, you see a gambit of prices when you look at stuff. It's just a matter of, does it fit what you need? And if it's in your price range? Like somebody who is like they want more pain management, that kind of stuff, I would shy away from the spa. Again, because the spa, you're focusing on, like, they usually have a menu, and we're doing either Swedish, deep tissue, so it may not fit your very specific needs, as opposed to somebody who kind of focuses on wellness, where now we're looking at more pain management, stress management, etc., and not the whole ambiance.
So I want to backtrack a little bit here, and I want to focus on the mental health aspect of massage. As a massage therapist, you stated earlier in a segment that we did that it can sometimes take a mental strain on the actual person who's providing the service. So I'm not going to get too personal, but I want to touch on something personal with you. How, with different things that you've seen being a massage therapist from your clients, how has some of those things affected you from a mental standpoint, as far as dealing with whatever the clients have dealt with or have told you or different things like that?
I try not to own it. Um, I empathize, but I don't take it on. I can't. Because I'm seeing and touching too many people. Now, there are times when I have to step back, and I know when my energy is off, when it's like things are irritating me for no reason and I really don't know why. So it's like, okay, I have to step back and get myself together because possibly I've picked up on too many things and I haven't released enough of it. So I go to a place like my happy place or my place of comfort is by water. So might have to go take me a cruise. And go
Really?
sit by the lake. So my look, vacation is self-care for me. So it's like, hey, we going, where we going? And we booked and gone.
Right, right.
So that's a form of self-care for me. Just to get away from my scenery where I don't really have to worry about nothing. I can kind of disconnect from what it is I'm doing. Sometimes I have to be selfish about my time. And it's like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. Sometimes it's a matter of putting on a comedy, just so you can lighten the mood, laugh, etc. But just paying attention to your body, knowing what your body needs and what it's telling you. And too often we get kind of caught up in these things that I have to do. I got to do this and I got to do that. If I get sick, I'm not going to do any of that stuff anyway.
Right.
So I have to be very intentional about taking my time to take care of me so that I can take care of others.
So,
Felicia, when you're talking
Sure.
about getting massages, what are some pointers you would give people for choosing a good massage service? Because just because it says massage doesn't necessarily mean that they're skilled or they're qualified. What are some of the things, if you're going to go and get this service, what should be present that lets you know that this is a reputable and qualified place for services?
A license, for sure.
Well, yes, obviously.
Well, no, because you have a lot of establishments operating or have individuals operating and they do not have a license.
Aha.
Or could they be operating under someone else's license? Is that a possibility?
Yes and no.
Okay, how so?
When I say yes and no, because there was a time where individuals could say, yes, I have, like one of my students, if they haven't gone taken their licensing test yet and got licensed by the state, what they would do is say, hey, they're working under my license. But now they've created a platform where they can get a provisional license. So it allows them to work for 3 months, whereas they can work, again, under a supervised, under a licensed therapist, under their supervision, before they go take their licensing exam. But we definitely want to look for a license. It's really going to be word of mouth, because just because I look at an individual, or if you see some reviews or something, again, that don't always mean nothing, because everybody have their own different tastes. You have people that like Burger King, you have some that like Wendy's, you have some that like
Right.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, right?
It's all personal
so
preference.
it's
right?
all personal preference.
Right. But some basics need to be in place. Like there needs to be a license. You need to know that the people working on you know anatomy or something about anatomy, so they're not pinching nerves and other stuff. So, I'm just trying to give people an idea of, just don't walk into any establishment, but do your homework. Maybe that's the best thing to say, is to do your legwork first, your homework first.
Yes.
All right, man. Do your homework. All right. So, tell the people where they get in contact with you.
I'm at Divine Moments Massage on Facebook, Divine Moments Massage on Instagram. And I can be reached at 985-326-1733.
All right, man. Sherry, tell the people where they get in contact with you.
Oh, anywhere you can find me on Facebook under my name, Sherry Smith. My Instagram is SY Smith 5262. Pardon me. So I'm around. I can be found.
All right, man. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson. We got one more segment to go with Miss Felicia Simon and my lovely co-host, Miss Sherry Smith. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks
and Kimber White Dupree
from the front porch.
Some combos are too good to miss. Now you can pull up a chair to the front porch anytime.
Just search WBOK Media and subscribe to the Front Porch Podcast.
Download, share, and hit us with a 5-star rating because New Orleans culture deserves to be heard loud and clear.
Ryan Richardson here. If you are like me, that means you love the feeling of getting a fresh haircut and shave. If you do, then you should check out my friends Eddie and Dana Bunch at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, specializing in hairstyles for men, women, and children. If you want to make a good first impression, you should check out First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero or call 504-341-6777. Remember, it's never too late to make that first impression at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
If someone asks, let them know you listen to WBOK.
Thanks for listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK and listen online at WBOK1230.com. Now, back to Ron.
Welcome back, New Orleans. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. We're also on YouTube. Thanks for everyone who has been listening and checking in with me so far. I really appreciate it, man. And there'll be more topics, more exciting stuff on Conversations with Ron Richardson each and every week. And my guest is messing with me behind the glass, Miss Felicia Simon. You having fun?
Yes, I am.
All right. And we have my guest co-host, Miss Sherry Smith. Sherry, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the conversation as always. So
this is a very
ready to get back into it.
Yeah, this is a very informative show because I never knew there were so many things that went into getting a massage, getting treatment, and becoming an actual massage therapist. One of the things that we didn't touch on is a treatment that I had gotten a while back, and it's called fire cupping. So, why don't you, Felicia, explain exactly what fire cupping is, or cupping, for those that may or may not know about that particular technique?
So I didn't do no fire cupping on you. I just
No, I know, but we did cupping, but there is something called fire cupping. So let's touch on the cupping first and explain what that is.
Oh, yes. So cupping, you have either like little silicone suction cups or you have vacuum cups. And what it helps is break up that muscle, the fascia, draw fresh blood into the area so we can get some nutrients and stuff in there. And but yeah, that's I think we saw it. Most of the world probably got familiar with it when Michael Phelps had those bruises all over his arms just before his race. Well, that was cupping. So we can help loosen that up and to optimize his his swim time.
Yeah, because when that's when I first saw it.
Hmm.
What was it? The
One of the
the
Olympics.
one of the
Yeah.
Olympics, and I was like, what is that? So the announcers, they were like, well, that's the process called cupping, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I did it, I was amazed because my pain just went away. You know, I was like, wow. So how does one get into that aspect of massage, or how does one get into learning how to use that technique on different clients?
So that is something that we introduce our students to. The regular silicone cups. That's something we introduce our students to, but they can definitely continue an education class where they learn how to do that where it's more targeted and specific, and they learn how to use that in the different types of cups that are available so they can do fire cupping
Okay.
if they now I'm not exactly sure if massage therapists can actually do the fire cupping or if they'd have to be like a physical therapist or something like that. But yes, that's not a skill that I learned. So
Okay.
I don't play with fire.
As I was doing my research on different techniques, I looked up cupping because, like I said, I've experienced it
Hmm.
before, and that's what I found. I found fire cupping, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, that's interesting, But I didn't know if you participated with that or used that technique on different patients or clients.
No, I don't.
Right. All right. So
Are there special things that you need to do after you've had a massage? I would think like maybe because so many toxins have been released, you probably need to drink a little bit more water to wash those out of your body, showered, or if it's come through your skin or pores in some shape, form, or fashion, to get your body, to help your body continue to release the toxins that have been released through the manipulation of the muscles.
Well, keeping the muscles hydrated, definitely. We definitely want to drink a lot more water. Now, some people they hear like, "Oh, I shouldn't take a bath. I should like." There's nothing in the rule books that say we cannot take a bath or we,
Right,
we
because those
shouldn't.
myths are out there. That's why I'm asking. Because
right.
some people say, "Oh, they say that very thing." Well, after you have a massage, you can't do that, and you're looking at them going, "But why?"
Yeah, because some people just take a bath for the matter of let me get this oil off me, depending on what type of oil or cream that the therapist used. They're just
Hmm.
trying to get that off their skin. So, because I did a body wrap one time and they put some oil on me and I stepped out in June. And when I tell you, I felt like I was frying. And I'm like, I got to get this off.
Right. Wow.
But yeah, you can definitely go take a bath. They have some individuals, they may go sit in a sauna if they have access to it.
To
They
sweat
might
out
do a
whatever.
sauna, a hot tub, or
Hmm.
something like that to kind of help, with that. Like in it, like some people do cryotherapy. It varies, and everybody's different. So even if I say, "Hey, yeah, do this," like there's no one clear cut
So now, if
method.
you've warmed all the muscles in the body, you probably don't want to go jump in an ice bath or anything, right?
Depending on what kind of treatment that you had, you may want to settle those muscles down.
Right.
But still, again, like know what you're doing. Just know what you're doing.
Right.
Because
So
we don't want to put ice on muscles that's already tight.
that's already tight, yeah,
Yeah,
because
because that's,
it'll constrict them
Right.
more.
yep.
Right. So, man, it has been a absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Tell the people where they get in contact with you one more time.
So you can find me on Facebook at Divine Moments Massage, on Instagram at Divine Moments Massage, and my contact number is 985-326-1733.
So, for all my listeners out there, and for all my people who are aspiring to possibly become a massage therapist, when do the next round of classes start?
Classes start July, I believe, 14th. So we have day and evening classes. Day classes are 9 months. You're in school 9 to 4 Monday through Friday. My evening classes are 15 months, 6 to 10 Monday through Thursday.
So, one thing I want to touch on that we didn't touch on during the course of the show is about hygiene from clients.
Yes.
In closing, we didn't touch on that, but in closing, man, I just want to you to give people some advice out there because everybody ain't clean.
Everybody is not clean. So here's the unfortunate thing. Some people don't have a sense of smell. And some people are naturalists or whatever the situation is, so they are not aware. But if you have if you are aware, make sure you practice cleanliness, and don't drench yourself in perfume, cologne, or body spray. Let's take a bath. And now what I discovered, and I did not know, there's this thing called bath days. Like some people have bad days. So if you're going to get a massage, schedule your massage on your bath days.
All right, man. You've heard it. Any positive words of encouragement before we get out of here from you, Miss Felicia?
Just enjoy life, take care of yourself, and slow down and enjoy life's divine moments.
All right. Miss Felicia Simon, Miss Sherry Smith, thank you, ladies. And I'll see you next week, New Orleans, same time, same place, same bad channel. And we'll be talking about more great topics. Shouts out to everyone who tuned in with me each and every week. Shouts out to my mom, who's also tuned in, man. Mom, I'll see you soon. I'll see you guys next week. Love you, New Orleans. Peace.